Smash that limiter!
Hello, welcome.
Hello, everyone. How are you?
Okay, so I got a little bit in the zone of that song. I thought that was fucking funny. Bling pudding.
Bling pudding.
I don't know. I just randomly found it. I'm just like, fuck yeah, this is definitely going on. He's got a whole playlist. So welcome to episode 61. Now we're not obviously making real drugs and selling drugs. Like we've been getting right into schedule one, and holy fuck, is that
We've
game
been having
fun.
a lot of fun with it.
I made Spliffy rage. It was
Oh,
fun.
I was so fucking angry. I don't think I've ever been that angry with you in my entire life.
Ray's like saying that you were really worried of upsetting me because you've just
Yeah, oh my
you're so
god.
fucking
I actually
angry.
calmed down and thought, I can actually upset you.
Oh, fuck. Oh, that was
I
so
was
funny.
so fucking livid that night.
Oh, that was so fucking funny. So the game we've been playing is called Schedule 1, and holy fuck, is it fun. It is
It's a
so
lot of
much
fun.
For those who don't know what it is, basically, imagine Breaking Bad, but like in a very sort of low graphics, simple, but like really like intuitive way of playing like a drug empire. So you start off like in a motorhome, and you're making and growing dope, and then you end up fleeing because your uncle got busted with making meth. So you end up going to this new town, and then basically you got to start from the ground up making your drug empire again. You end up like, it takes a long time to progress, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it's like a really fair progression system.
It is, yeah, definitely. But no, I'm really enjoying it. I started off as the, what did you call me? What was my role you gave me?
Okay, I don't remember. Oh,
was
the miscellaneous man.
I was a miscellaneous man. So like Spliffy and Ray were building the drug empire, and you're like seriously hold the record of the most fucking drugs sold in one day. You missed the fucking dealer. Ray can't even keep up manufacturing because of how much you're selling, man. Fuck me. Jeez, you're like, I'll be like running around collect, because you in the game you like can collect rubbish to get money. And I've just been doing that. I've just been doing absolutely nothing to contribute to this empire whatsoever, except maybe a little bit of hindering, since I've become really good at punching cops and running away. Now I'm upgraded to like, I murder them on a regular basis. So if there's like 3 cops, I'll just kill them and just run away. And then I walk past them the next day and I'll rave to them, "Hey, how's it going?" Like, I was pickpocketing everybody. I was just collecting rubbish, cleaning up the streets, literally to cleaning up the streets, and then now I am the meth guy, and I'm all the meth that I'm making on it is like exclusive stuff. So like, I don't even have dealers selling it really. I just run around with it and just experiment with different meth combinations. At the moment, I've got the titty bang is the only meth I've got in my inventory at the moment. We gotta be careful with titty bang.
Where we want to start putting you, hopefully, is that you'll be the hitman. So when we're dealing with rival gangs, then we can just like let you loose on them, and then we'll just rain out, just keep doing our thing.
Mate, killing is something I'm really good on that game.
Yeah,
like,
I know.
The police try so hard. They've only arrested me once, and it was only because they searched me, and the hide and the search thing didn't quite work on me. Probably because I didn't really understand how to do it properly. And I couldn't actually get away from them when they did that. But when they're chasing me, they don't stand a chance, man. I fuck them up. They can tase me and shoot me as much as they want. I kill them. Like, there was that one dude, like, I ran up to him. He was like, "Hey, come here for a search." I ran up to him and I fucking hit him with a bat so hard he flew off the bridge and died.
Oh, is that what you did last night?
Yeah, I fucking said, I yeeted him off the bridge. But yeah, at the moment, like, I'm working on getting all the citizens of this town addicted to meth. It's working quite well actually. They're all stuck on it now, especially with all your all your work.
I'd be going around. I'll just run around town doing deals, and I'd see someone with glowing, like literally, like it was almost like their eyes turn into lights, into
Yeah,
torches.
yeah. I love that. They all
Or
love
their
that
eyes
one.
are fucking blue.
Yeah, at the moment I've got a meth combination which is titty bang and it blows them up. So
Yeah. You can only do that deal once a day, and then they
yeah.
literally
They're out for the
they literally
count.
explode.
They literally explode. They come back, but they do explode. So like I'll be dealing with this situation when we get up to the gang rival stuff. I can tell you right now that these two guys wouldn't even get the chance to get the knives out. They would already be dead. So they'll just look at me and I'll just kill them. So
What I might be able to do
so this is sort of like what they can look like, the different, because we haven't unlocked heroin yet either, have we?
No, we've only unlocked weed and you've unlocked meth. I think that's
Yeah.
the only two that we've unlocked.
Yeah.
What I want to do, what I was hoping to do
That's
is
the
make
mething.
it so that I could sell all of the drugs, including your meth.
Yeah, I really need someone to sell my meth. But I need to work out the best. So like at the moment, we've just unlocked the high quality stuff. I don't want to sell just normal meth because no one actually likes it.
Yeah.
They don't like normal meth. So I'm going to manufacture the ones that are 100% addictive, and they're the ones I'm going to sell because
that makes sense.
Because at the moment it's annoying because I haven't got the they're not for sale like for them to just order it in. Like I just run around the streets and selling it to them like directly, seeing if they like it or not.
You actually make less money doing that.
Yeah, I'm not doing it to make money at the moment. I'm doing it to figure out which, because I don't want to be stuck with making all these different batches. I want to make like maybe 2 batches, so then that way it's easy to keep up. Because meth is slow at making; it's really slow.
You're probably gonna need a bigger place anyway.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, I moved into the apartment, which is plenty more room than I need. So, once I work out what the 2 best types are, I will start manufacturing them. So that's where I'm at now. I'll make 2,000 a day, so I make more than what it costs me to manufacture. Put it that way.
Yeah,
it only cost me like 800 to manufacture, and then I make 2,000 in one day, and I haven't
profiting
even
1,200.
Yeah, so I'm making a lot of money on it doing it. I'm not making the optimum amount, but I'm making a lot of money. The problem is you can only buy 5 pseudoephedrine at a time, so there is a cap on that at the moment. I guess it goes up as you get more suppliers, but
how frequently can you order it though? That's something I've never looked into. Can you order it once a day?
Once every 2 days at the moment.
Yeah, okay. Well, I reckon you just order it once every 2 days and just create a massive stockpile.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to stock it up, and then once I have the inventory, I'm going to start advertising, and then I'll give it to you to sell.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I only want to make 2. I don't want to make more than 2.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Ray's got a bit of a stockpile as well.
Yeah.
Ray's got the way that Ray has set her inventory up is she has the standard stuff that we sell on a regular basis, and she's also got experimental stuff, which is what we're using to obtain more customers and get more get more customers.
I have noticed
because each we're gonna say.
I was going to say I had noticed that even when I gave people bad meth, they hated it first, but over time I noticed they started to sort of like it more and more. Have you noticed that?
No, I haven't.
Like Elizabeth, for example, she hates meth, but now all of a sudden she's like asking for it.
Oh, she's probably addicted to it.
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm fucking like. That's why I gave everyone free samples. I'm like, here, take some. They're like, I fucking hate this. I don't want it again. Go back to next time. Oh, maybe. I'm like, yeah. It's kind of scary how efficient we're getting at doing this.
It's
fun though. It's all fun without the repercussions like it would be in real life.
Yeah. Well, that's the point of video games, I think.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
I think last night I had somewhere close to $20,000 in cash, and I couldn't even put it all in the bank.
Yeah, you
I
need
had to
to
literally
dump
give
a.
some of it to Ray so she could put it into laundering.
Our laundering business is working overtime at the moment. It's a bit crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah, well, like I've haven't been earning. I've been spending most of what I get back on equipment. Like I've been upgrading the lab and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Because like I am so quick at making meth now. It's ridiculous. Like the process of the actual cooking is what takes the time because it's quite a long time. It's like it's if you can only probably cook one batch a day.
Right.
It's quite slow. Maybe 2 batches a day. Yeah, 2 batches a day. The drying is quick. The mixing is quick. So like making the different types of meth. So like mixing a bit of battery acid and mixing some donuts and like this is the weird shit you can do in this game. Like you can't do that in real life. But in this game, you can mix it with other random shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that doesn't take long, but the actual like chem side of it, making the liquid meth is the time consuming. But I can like, you saw how quick I can do it. Like, I just have it down pat now. It's fucking
Yeah.
in
Well,
done.
it sounds like you just need well, essentially stations that actually make
Yeah,
the meth.
well, yeah, I could. What I could do is I could have 2 stations and then have 2 going at the same time and 2.
Yeah, that would make sense.
The
It would double
ovens,
the battery.
yeah. I wouldn't need another oven because the oven's pretty quick. It only takes like 3 minutes to do it. So I think the making of the meth is easier than growing the weed. Because like Ray has to do a lot of fucking around with like planting the soil. Because in this game, like for those that aren't familiar, you actually physically have to do the tasks. So it's not like you just click and start and then it just does it off screen. You actually got to cut the soil bag, pour the soil bag. You got to water the area, or you get an automatic water, which is what Ray's already got anyway. You have to set up the
Very
lighting.
involved.
It is very involved, and like with the meth, like I'm mixing all the ingredients to make meth together, which funnily enough, is only missing like 2 ingredients in real life to actually make meth.
Well, they don't want to be accurate now, do they? Otherwise, they're going to be. Oh, it's going to be in the same trouble as the people who keep sharing official documentation on War Thunder to win arguments.
Yeah, but like you can legally share the ingredients and how to make meth online. There's no like legal documents, but there is very much legal. I think there isn't. There isn't any legal repercussions. I don't think for like talking about.
Not yet.
No, it could be, but it doesn't matter. I mean, you're gonna find if you want to do it, you're going to find out how to do it pretty easily, because you're gonna go into the world with people that know how to make it. So they're gonna. I don't know.
Those who are determined are triumphant.
I just don't care for drugs. Period. But
yeah.
But on a game, fuck yeah, it's fun. It's so much fun. Just because it's just like it's one of those things where you're like, like the thought, oh, I could do it better. It's like that, but it's on a game, and in real life you would never do it or want to even try it. It's not even interested. But on a game, it'd be like, yeah, I'm the best. They call me Mr. Mixer.
Mr. Mixer.
Or in my case, you guys call me the Miscellaneous Man. The one
Miscellaneous Man?
Yeah, I reckon it's something like that, yeah. The man who picks up the trash and throws the trash out, that is included of literal trash or is included of people's bodies.
Can I make mention of why I was so fucking angry with you the other day?
Yeah, you can.
And then you're going to basically say that's not how it happened, which is also one of the reasons why I got so fucking angry as well. I think it was, I was doing a deal with someone at the dock, and then like this whole time up until this point, and even beyond that, Hunter was just fucking around with the cops, punching him and running away from them, right? I'm doing a deal down at the docks worth hundreds of dollars, and then Hunter brings the fucking cops to me. I get fucking busted. I'm running, and then the cops manage to get me, and Hunter walks away scot fucking free. I'm fucking pissed because I've lost probably about $2,000 worth of drugs and about, I think it was over $400 of my own fucking money, and Hunter walks away scot fucking free. I was fucking pissed.
That's because I hid in the bin and you were the best decoy ever.
Oh, for fuck's sake, I was making us money, you prick.
They were so distracted by you, they forgot about me. And then literally, after you get arrested, the cop that arrested you, I fucking drowned him in the water. Like, I fucking killed him so much. and then they chase me again, and I lose him on top of a roof of a house. they're like, where's he gone? Where's he gone? I'm up on top looking and go, hello. They just like lost me. It's like every time I'm wanted by the police on there, it's literally dead or alive. Like it's never wanted. It's just they want to fucking kill me. Like they keep shooting at
Public
me.
enemy number one.
Oh, God. And sometimes like, they'll try and cop me off. Like they'll like try and surround me, and like because all I have is baseball bat. I've upgraded. I've just bought the machete, so they're really dead now.
Okay.
So like yeah, well I'm working up to the gang, man. Like when
Yeah,
once
I
the
know.
gang
Yeah,
shit
yeah, yeah. Which is
happens,
fair
like,
enough.
Mr. Miscellaneous Man's gonna be the talk of horror in dreams, you know? They're gonna fucking wake up with cold sweats imagining me. In this online game anyway. But fucking yeah, they'll like try to cop me off, and like there'll be cop, and you know that little ring goes around them when they're gonna try and tase you?
Yeah.
So they'll do that, but I'll just fucking hit them with a baseball bat and they just go flying. And then I just run away. Like and like because I know all the spots they can't get to you. So like there's around one of the warehouses, there's like a little tiny ledge, it's like that big, and you can actually walk on it around the building. They can't get to you.
Oh.
And you're like, and you're just out of sight too. So like they're like looking at you, but like they can't see you because you're out of their range. So there'll be like six cops like, where is he? Where is he? And they're like looking at me, and they're looking at me, but they can't see me because I'm in a cheese spot. And they just like walk off, go back, and then just walk back through and just sell. Like it's gotten to the stage of just gotten so not like caring about the cops on there that like I will do drug deals in front of them, and they don't come after me. Like I'll be like selling fucking Jesse like 10 bags of fucking meth for like $600, which I'm ripping myself up, but it's the poor quality.
Yeah,
stuff.
no, that's way too low.
It's the poor quality stuff, so I'm trying to get rid of it.
Oh, okay.
And like they didn't even like bat an eyelid. They're just like looking at me while she's like getting high off my stuff. Like,
oh my god.
I'm like, this is so funny. I just don't care. And like I found that if you're doing a deal and like you're in line of sight of them, if there's like a bin next to you, you just crouch down. Do the deal, crouch down next to the bin, and they can't see you, so it's fine. So I've found so many tricks and had to avoid them now. I've gotten really good at it. and sometimes I just don't care because I just run away from them or kill them. I mean, either way, they're fucked. So I can't wait till we get to the higher levels, man. It's gonna be so fun.
I'm curious to see if the developers put the SWAT team in it yet.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be interesting.
I'll definitely be a lot more scared.
Yeah. SWAT team come. We have to have like a final, what is it? A last stand against the SWAT.
Yeah.
Every fucking day.
Yeah, that if they brought that in, that will definitely make me think twice. That's for sure. But, at the moment, I just don't care. They're just plebs. So I just I treat them like they are. They're plebs in my books. But yeah, so that's our new fun game. We also did have a try of Supermarket Together, and that was fun.
That was fun.
It's a simulated game where we run a supermarket, and it is like real life. So you got to keep an eye on stock levels, and the cash register is very painful. So we jack the prices up to make them all even numbers, so then that way change is easy to give because you actually have to do it all manually.
And you can screw it up.
Yeah, you can. You can give them too much. You can't give them too less, but you can give them too much, which is annoying. And we just watch how customers complain about the price all the time. But
It's particularly salt.
yeah, they really
Even though salt is $1.
You sell at the price they suggest it, and they still whinge about it. It's really annoying.
Yeah, oh god.
I just don't care.
I just sort of
just do
yeah,
real,
I've just sort of become complacent in
yeah,
it.
let's just do what real supermarkets do and just charge the amount that we want to charge. Like, fuck the customer. That's what supermarkets in real life are like. Fucking Woolies and Coles earning like millions of dollars of profit and not fucking doing anything to change the cost of living.
No.
But it's fucking we've been playing a lot of good games. We kind of stopped playing Helldivers a bit. Last time we played it was a bit bugged, but they fixed it, I think. But I think
the Quasar cannon was bugged up, and then they fixed that.
Yeah, they kind of broke the automatons with the way they spawn as well.
I didn't really notice that, but maybe I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. So it's it's been good. There's been a lot of good games. I have also been going down the rabbit hole of my little bit of background story. So I built my computer last year. I spared no expense on it. The only thing I didn't fork out on was a $6,000 graphics card, or $3,000 at the time. Instead, I spent on. Yeah, it's so rip off. I'm talking about the 90 series graphics cards, either 4090 or the 5090 from Nvidia. I have a 79 XTX, which is an expensive card anyway. It's like $1,500. So since I built my computer, I've been running to random crashes or random boot loops. And Spliffy has been hearing me troubleshooting this all the time, and he suggested quite a few things that I even tried, like the RAM, like you said. Because RAM on AM5 stuff is fucking finicky, man. My advice to someone who's looking at building or looking at getting into the computering world and want to do it themselves, if you want to learn and you like to tinker, 100% go for an AMD platform. Because when it works, it is phenomenally good. It's so nice. It runs so well. It is a very stable system when it runs. AMD actually care about you, I find. The downside to AMD is it is very temperamental. So if you don't know what you're doing or don't want to learn how to fix things when things come up, I wouldn't recommend AMD. I would recommend Intel. Intel's still really good, but it's just price per performance. AMD is just way better. The driver side that everyone carries on about, the drivers are shit, blah, blah, blah. No, not really. The drivers are fine. I never really have too many driver-related issues, and when something arises, they fix it pretty quick. Yes, there was the whole Asus and a few motherboard manufacturer issues with the 7800 X3D CPUs burning a hole in the center. They've fixed that ages ago. Mine's a 7800 X3D, by the way, so I have not had my CPU get above, even now, like streaming and having all this multiple things running. It's only using 11% of my CPU, 45% of my graphics card. Temperature's 54 degrees C and 47 degrees C on the GPU, and the temperature inside is... It's hot. And it's 32 degrees. It's 32 degrees in here. So it's pretty warm. Right. So just to go to show that the temperatures are really good. Like I've got AIO, Liam Lee AIO water pump, LCD water pump. So it is pretty cold. I've never seen it above 80 ever. Even on like a 45 degree day and I haven't turned the AC on and I'm playing Helldivers with everything on full scale and I've got a 1440 monitor. Like it never goes above 80. But what's happening is I will get a random error. It's power 41 or something like CI 41, something like that. And my computer randomly crash. Or when I reset it after it's done one of those stupid compulsory updates that Windows love to do, it will get into a bit of a boot failure. So like it will restart, but it won't restart. It will be hung. I'll have to turn the computer off and turn it back on, and it comes back fine.
Oh, yeah.
Now, there's two things that it could be. It could be one, your RAM, which is the most common thing that happens. It happened to Ray's computer, which she has a higher end CPU than I do. So I've got a X motherboard. She's got a B motherboard. We both have the exact same RAM sticks. One of her RAM sticks failed. So when she started up one day, it just kept being hung. It wouldn't boot. So she took one of the RAM sticks off, and fair enough, it booted. So she has a faulty RAM stick. So it could be that. So I tested it. I've tested my system over and over and over and over again, and nothing came back conclusive. So I thought, okay, so it must be software. So what I did is I went through the software stuff, and I went in and basically uninstalled everything, and then refresh installed all the drivers and everything like that from scratch manually. Not using. I've disabled Windows. I disabled Adrenaline. I disabled ASUS Army Crate. I just fucking disabled everything, so nothing could do nothing. And then I manually installed the drivers myself on a USB. I also updated my BIOS, which actually fixed a lot of things doing that. It fixed a lot of the resetting issues with it being hung up.
Yeah.
And then on Monday, I ran diagnostics on my RAM through Windows 11, which I will bring out a video on it. It's long and tedious and boring, but it's actually quite really useful. So what I did was I tested. Windows has an inbuilt memory testing system, and it actually will come up with problems if there's something wrong with your RAM stick. It does work. But you can only test one RAM stick at a time. I didn't know that when I did it ages ago. I had them both in, and it was like, it was all good. It actually, when you test it with both RAM sticks, it will test the best RAM.
Oh.
which is pointless anyway. So I did the test, and no issues. I even changed the DIMM slots to see which DIMM, if it's a DIMM that's faulty. Nah, it's all good. Which leads me to believe that it's the power supply. Now, it could be two things on the power supply. It could actually be the power supply itself, or more likely, what I think it is I have cable mod cables. I think they're shit. I think they're the problem. I'm more leaning towards that. So what I'm going to do today in the afternoon, I bought a tester. So I bought one of these things here. So you plug your power supply in it, and it will tell you the voltage of each rail. It will let you know if the voltage is correct. So instead of using a multimeter, which using a multimeter works really well, but you have to know what pin does what. So you need to know the diagram of the power supply layout. Or you just buy one of these and just stick that in, and it does the exact same thing.
Probably more accurately too.
Yeah, I would rather do that than, because the problem with the multimeter, you could be doing human error.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just use that. So I'm going to test the cable mod leads. If the cable mod leads look fine, I'll still unplug them and plug in the Corsair's factory leads. I did buy these cable mod leads specifically for my power supply. I matched the part numbers up. So they should work, but they might not. It could be many different little issues that have happened. I don't know. And it's very intermediate when it crashes. It could be when I'm closing a game. It could be when I'm starting a game. It could be when I have too many tabs on Google. It's just so random. That's why originally I thought it was RAM, but it's not. So, like I said, the RAM tested fine. So I'm going to do that. I'll swap them out, and if the problem consistently changes, I might send my Corsair power supply off to an RMA, which sucks because it has to be sent to America to be tested by them. And yeah,
Well, it's under warranty, so hopefully you shouldn't have to pay for anything.
It runs out of warranty on the 10th.
Oh, in all
So,
honesty,
10th month.
I would do the RMA, and chances are it's actually going to cost the people who you bought it from more to send it to America than it would be to just give you a brand new one.
I can't go through PC Case Gear, which I bought it through.
Why not?
Their warranty's only for a year.
Ah.
Yeah, so I will have to go via the manufacturing warranty. I'll ask them if they're okay with sending it back. But yeah, because it's 1,000 watts. So I've got the RM1000E.
How much did that cost you? Just out of curiosity.
300. I think it was $299.
Yeah, it's probably going to cost them like over $400 just to send it to America.
Because like when I was going online, like it's so hard to troubleshoot this shit because people with so many the IT world is just full of so many conflicting fucking opinions.
Yeah.
It's so annoying. So a lot of people are like, no, it's power supply. It's not enough online, and people are like, what do you mean it's not enough? It's 1,000 fucking watts. Like I said, the this combination of what I've got is probably maxes at 600 watts. And then it can spike up to 800 and something if it gets a power spike, which can happen. But that's well within the spec of my 1,000 watt power supply. That's why I didn't get an 850 power supply, because it might crash quite frequently because of those spikes. Because the 7900 XTX can spike in power quite a lot since it's got like it has a 400 watt like max TDP or something like that. So, 400 watts, and then the CPU is 300 and something watts. So, and then plus all the fans and the stuff I got plugged in, all my preferrables and all that sort of shit. Like my computer's drawing a lot of power. Like,
yeah,
it's way more than 850 in a spike. So, so that's why I didn't get an 850 watt power supply. 1,000 watts should be more than enough wiggle room because it's not going to spike all the time. It's for those random times that it does it. And some people were just like, nah, as soon as I changed to a 1,200 watt or 1,500 watt power supply, I never had any issues. And I'm like, well, it could be because your 1,000 watt power supply was faulty. You
can get bad batches.
Yeah, you can.
I've definitely had situations like that at work.
They pump these out by the thousands. Like, they're mass produced. They're not like some fucking small batch shit. Like, the number on the back of the serial numbers in the thousands. Like, they make thousands of these fucking things and ship them globally. So,
yeah.
And so many people, it surprised me how many people upgrade yearly. I don't get that. It's a waste of money.
Holy shit. Yeah, no fucking way. Like, my system, I think the first time I ever did an upgrade on my system was to increase the boot drive.
Yeah.
I think that was 2 or 3 years ago. So that would have been like owning the system that I have for 4 years. And then I needed to upgrade my other drive.
Yeah.
And now I'm upgrading the CPU and the graphics card after 7 or 8 years. 7 years, I think.
Yeah.
And then next year I'll either this year or next year, I'm not sure when I'll upgrade I'll have a dedicated M.2 drive for the games and then go from there.
Yeah, I'm glad I upgraded when I did because I really needed it. My laptop was gonna catch on
your
fire.
laptop was dying.
It was dying hard. Like, don't get me wrong, like I've been having issues, but it hasn't been that much of a pain in the ass. Not really. Like I said, so intermittently that it's not a problem. I need to do something about it because an issue with the power supply can damage your components. So something needs to be done. But I'm not stressed about it because, like I said, like if my CPU would be bogging down all the time and the temperatures be through the roof, especially my hotspot temps, then I'd be worried. But it's not, so it's fine. It's fine, and I've undervolted everything as well. But it makes sense being the power supply as well, because like every time I try to overclock, I mean AMD stuff's never the best overclock. You don't really need to anyway. Come out of the factory, it's pretty good. But
Yeah.
when I do try an overclock, which I've done a couple of times, just instantly fails, instantly crashes, which makes me think it's power supply. Which is probably the best way for me to test whether the power supply is an issue or not, or the cables is, because when I swap the cables, the first thing I'm going to do is overclock. And once I overclock, if it crashes, then I know it's power supply. If it doesn't crash, then Balia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. That was the sure way of me testing that my system was unstable when I tried overclocking. And I didn't. All I was doing was a small clock. I wasn't doing anything crazy. I can still undervolt without any issues, but I undervolted and I just changed the clock speed by like not much, and it just crashed. And I'm like, because I looked up stable clock speeds for my system, and I went off of that. And heaps of people have tested and tried, and they're like, nah, this is the most stable to give you slight performance buff without damaging components' longevity. And the fact that it wouldn't even do that makes me think that it was the power supply from the get-go. So, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, we'll try it out, see what happens anyway. But, yeah, on other news, though...
That's all you can do.
Yeah,
yep.
On other news, it's pretty crazy that Jurassic Park has come into fruition, isn't it?
Well, in terms of real life.
Yeah. We talked about it last one of the other shows about the woolly mouse that they made.
Right.
Do you remember that?
No, I don't. I will admit.
So this company called Colossal, they're based in America, their goal is to resurrect species that have become extinct. So yeah, they're very much like InGen from Jurassic Park, but they aren't doing it because they want to make money off of like have a theme park or anything like that. They're doing it to advance the research of genetics. A lot of people are like, you're playing God and all this sort of stuff, and other people are like, well, there were 6 movies to show why you shouldn't do this and all this sort of stuff. I'm on the lines of we are pretty advanced in genetics that people don't understand what our capabilities are. Like cloning isn't something that we don't know how to do. Like we clone a lot. So we clone plants a lot. Every time you cut like a stem off a plant and replant it, that's cloning. So that whole act of God things to me is a dumb argument unless you're religious. But we also selective breed as well. We've been doing it for generations and thousands of years. That is a genetic breeding system. It's just doing it the old-fashioned way. Yeah. So what Colossal have done is they were able to extract quite a good significant amount of DNA sequence from the direwolf. They tested this theory that they can manipulate the genetic coding of a species to bring back prehistoric species that lived tens of thousands of years ago, to basically make them resemble what they would have looked like back then. They aren't 100% one-to-one, but they do have the same genetic coding as those animals, or very close to the same genetic coding. There might be a couple of different strands out or something like that, just because DNA degrades over time. The best DNA samples you can get is when you're born, because that is when your genetic code has not degraded like at all. So that's why cloning, we use like stem cells research, we use eggs and sperm, we combine them we essentially create a human, and then we extract the stem cells out of their embryo. So stem cells, believe it or not, is created by cloning people. So and they do it all the time. So, IVF is cloning essentially. Anyway, long story short, they got a grey wolf species, which is a distance related to the dire wolf. They are related. We have the genome for many different species around the world, and the grey wolf is a direct descendant of the dire wolf. The dire wolf is a species of wolf that lived in the Ice Age around 10,000 years ago. They lived quite a while. They are a much larger wolf, and they're short, stocky, bigger built, built for the Arctic. And so what they did is they got DNA, living DNA that was still intact from fossils, not from permafrost direwolves, from actual skulls. So they extracted one DNA from a tooth, which they were able to get living DNA from, and they extracted DNA from the bone inside the inner ear, which that bone in the inner ear on all species, including fish, stays the same throughout its entire life cycle. Like the DNA in that bone actually stays pretty well the same. So you don't get much degradation in that DNA. So it's actually a really good spot to get DNA samples from, which we do all the time in science. So they extracted the DNA and then they sampled that DNA. They basically read it like a computer code. Then they got the genetic code of the grey wolf, of the parents, and they extracted their eggs and sperm, and they combined them together to basically start a reaction, a cell reaction. Then they genetically modified that embryo. And to do this, there's a couple of different methods. I can't remember how they did it. There's two different ways of that are quite common of doing it. One is through a virus. So you introduce a specific engineered virus. Well, it's not engineered, it's actually naturally occurring, but they get it to do a specific task, and when it's done its task, it dies. So it's a virus that basically what it does is it inputs RNA coding into a DNA, which genetically changes the genetic code of its host. So it's a naturally occurring virus in plants, and it will attack a plant and it will input its RNA sequence into the genetics of a tree, and it will mutate the genetic coding and get it to do what it needs to do. In its case is to replicate itself. So it will genetically modify the plant to start reproducing more viruses of itself. What scientists do in this genetic modification, and we do this with GMO stuff, so genetically modifying organisms of plants in particularly, where we use this virus to then input specific genes that we want in a plant to make it more disease resistant, more drought resistant, higher nutrients. Like we can make a banana to have like all the nutrients you need to survive, which helps poverty in other countries and stuff like that. That sort of stuff. The other is kind of like what they call a gene gun. Now I'm really far behind on a lot of this literature as well, so I might be out of date on some things. So the gene gun works in the same principle as the virus, where basically it blasts the genetic code and just slams it onto the DNA sequence. So it inputs the DNA sequence you want. So they do it with those couple of different methods, and then they've got their own methods as well, where they can take genetic code out and replace it with another genetic code. So they're doing all that shit. After doing all that, they were able to bring to life basically a very, very close genetically related direwolf. So some people are arguing that it's not a real direwolf, and they are correct in a way. So they're correct in the way that it is not the same animal that they genetically got DNA from 10,000 years ago, but they are incorrect in the sense that it isn't a direwolf because genetically it's really fucking close. So if you could argue, you could say they've created a new breed of wolf that they call him the dire wolf, but it's pretty much a cousin, not a distant cousin, but a cousin of the dire wolf, or like a sibling. So it has enough of the direwolf genetics that is very, very closely related. Like it could be a cousin essentially.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So the direwolf, like they're already big. This is only a 5-month-old pup. So they've got 3. They've got 2 that are 6 months old at the moment. This photo's taken when it's 5 months old. Look how big the fucker is at 5 months. And check out the mane. Like wolves don't have manes like that. That's unique to this animal. And the broad shoulders and the stocky legs. Like, I mean, I think the problem is people when they think of direwolves, they think of direwolves like on Game of Thrones, these gigantic animals, but they weren't. They're not that much bigger than a wolf. Like, that's a grey wolf, which is what they use as the parents. And that's a dire wolf there. So, like, they're not, I mean, they're bigger than a person if they stand up tall, but so is a grey wolf. So they're not, like, gigantic. They're big, but they're not gigantic. So they got 2 males and 1 female. The female's only little. So look how cute they are. But they succeeded in what they set out to do. You know, like look how big his fucking paws are. Huge. So here's a good picture of his mane there. So look at the mane. So yeah, now these are like wild animals as well because I was listening to the CEO of Colossal talk, and like they have a reserve hidden location. They don't want anyone to know where they are because they've already had people trying to I want the dire wolf, try and buy them and get them to breed them for themselves. But this is purely for scientific research. These animals. So they've got their own reserve. It's a massive reserve. They literally have their own vet clinic just for these 3 animals. They've got 24/7 staffed. They've got security. Like these animals are protected and guarded. They're gonna start introducing them. They're still fed, hand fed and whatnot at the moment by the keepers, but they're going to introduce carcasses soon. He was saying, so they can start like seeing what they act when they start getting a little bit more natural. One of them isn't as friendly as the other. But yeah, now they're beautiful animals. And you know, as I said to you, like off camera, you can do this same result through selective breeding. That's how we got the breeds we have today with dogs. But instead of taking hundreds and hundreds of generations to get this animal, you can just do it with 1. So that's the power of genetics, is you can do selective breeding a lot faster and easier. Still expensive, but I don't know. If you selective breeding over hundreds of years, I find that's probably more expensive in the long run because you got to feed these animals and look after these animals. So husbandry plus buying different breeds and breeding them together to get the results you want. I reckon genetic like is more cost effective short term.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Because you got to house you got to have facilities to house the whatever it is that you're breeding, and you got to keep them fed and alive and happy and whatnot.
Now I don't know if these direwolves are, and I'm going to call them direwolves because Colossal. These animals are made by Colossal, and they call them direwolves. So they are direwolf by them. Like I said, they're not the 10,000-year-old direwolf that lived. They're not the same. They are very much like Jurassic Park, where Jurassic Park created genetically modified organisms to resemble dinosaurs. That is literally what they did, and that is what Colossal has done with the direwolf. But it's still a direwolf because they called it that, and they can do it because they fucking bred it. so they can call it what the fuck they want. So it doesn't matter. I would love if I could pick their brain, I would love to ask them, have they created a new species? Can these 2 males mate with a grey wolf and produce offspring? Because if
You
they
mean like male? You mean like
So-
male on male pregnancy?
no, you get a female grey wolf.
Oh, okay.
So what separates a species from a breed or a race in humans is genetic a viability of offspring. So for example, let's say that you breed a tiger with a wolf. You will not get a hybrid of the two species. It just will not happen. Physically it wouldn't necessarily work just because their organs are very different, but like on a genetic level it wouldn't be viable. You cannot produce offspring. Now a tiger and a lion, they're two different species. You can crossbreed them to make a liger, but that liger is infertile.
Oh, right.
So that is one of the rules of speciesism, where you determine whether they're actually a completely different species or whether they can produce viable offspring. Now, if you produce a hybrid like a liger or polar bear crossed with a grizzly bear, which do occur naturally in the wild as well, they can't breed. So they produce offspring that's a hybrid, but they can't breed with anything. They're infertile from birth. Because they're two different species. So I wonder if this wolf can breed with a grey wolf, which I assume it can. That wouldn't make it a different species; it would make it a different breed,
Right.
like a different branch of the lineage, essentially a different breed. If it can't breed with the grey wolf, then essentially they've created their own species. But I doubt it, because I know you can breed different wolves, and you can breed a wolf with a dog. But again, if you breed a wolf with a dog, I think from memory, they can't produce viable offspring because they are different species. A canine, like our canines that we have as dogs, are a different species to a wolf. They're related, but they're a different species. So I think you can make a hybrid, but they can't. You can't breed the hybrid. So yeah, it would be interesting. I'd have to. That would be the question I would ask. That I'd be more interested in, because if they've made an animal that can't breed with its own mother's species, then they have created a whole new species, which is kind of cool. So, but
So
yeah,
what would you be able to breed it with? Would you have to create it again?
You would have to create it again. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And they're at the stage now where if they get the genetic coding of a few different animals, they could make. So this is the crazy thing with genetics. Say you have a dog and you give it 6 puppies.
Yeah.
You can genetically modify each puppy to be completely unrelated to each other. Even though they came from originally came from related embryos, related eggs.
Yeah.
But you can genetically modify them so they're not even related. That's the power of genetics. So we could get to a stage of where, say, for example, there is 2 species of an organism in the world. And this is where I think Colossal's kind of leading towards, like, wanting to do, like, learn how to do it. Is we can get a species that there's only a few left in the wild, and we can start a genetic breeding program like what they've done here with these direwolves, and they could make, like, just from a small genetic sample, they can make an actual viable population because they're making them not related to each other, so then that way they can breed them with each other, so then they can live and get their numbers back up and release them in the wild. I think that's what their game is with this. Because their next target is the thylacine, so the Tasmanian tiger.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to bring back the Tasmanian tiger. They have enough DNA to do it. So it'll be interesting. I'm just curious how they're going to do it. Because unlike the wolf, there's technically no living relative of the Tasmanian tiger. Like, it's a marsupial and it's related to the Tasmanian devil and the crow, but it was its own thing. So I don't know how they're gonna do it. It's gonna be interesting. It's much harder to make an animal with no backbone per se. So like this direwolf had the grey wolf as a backbone, a distant relative that was still like the same type of animal. What does a Tasmanian tiger have? It's got nothing. There's nothing that resembles the animal at all. The Tasmanian devil's completely different, and so is a quoll. Genetically, they're all related, but they're so far apart. It's going to be hard for them to bring back the animals. So it'll be interesting anyway.
Imagine if the Tasmanian tiger was the last of its genetic bloodline, and it was like related to a bunch of closely similar looking animals that have gone extinct that we don't even know anything about.
Yeah, well, fossil records are hard because like fossils are hard to like find and keep, you know. Because it has to be in very specific circumstances for them to be like to stay around for thousands of years.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of animals and species and dinosaurs and everything that we just don't know anything about. Funnily enough, the early day of life, so the Osmorix period, basically when there was nothing on land was on fire and was toxic and everything was in the water. Yeah. It's like when jellyfishes came to being and the little tiny microorganisms and stuff like that. We have more records of them than we do of anything else. Just because of that period of time, there was so much settlements. When they died, they literally get sandwiched in between the settlement and they just get preserved so well. So we have a better record of these creatures that are billions of years old, but yeah, animals that are tens of thousands of years old, we got nothing. It's crazy.
Ironic.
Yeah, it's crazy. But
maybe the aliens were doing a massive cleanup of all the fossils when they were building the pyramids.
Maybe. But yeah, I am excited for this. Like, this is pretty cool for me because I've genetically modified plants and shit like that myself, so I understand this tech. I did research on what happens to barley and that when the atmosphere grows in intensity with like CO2 increases, so like global warming. My hypothesis was if the increased production of CO2, like if increase of production of CO2 through global warming increases in the atmosphere, the plants will become toxic. Because it gets more energy to use to other means. It will grow bigger and it'll become more toxic, unusable, basically. And so I did a few different tests and both of them came back positive. Like, let's support my hypothesis. So, all
right.
Yeah, so you increase the CO2 in the atmosphere, and even if you increase the CO2 in the fucking roots, because I did two different tests, and one was in a CO2 rich atmosphere. We had to like go in with oxygen masks, and the other was I fed carbonated water exclusively to the plants. Like, they were in a hydroponic setup with only carbonated water. So the carbonation and the carbon CO2 absorption in the roots was like 100%. Basically, is what I was looking at. The exact same as the atmosphere.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So their volume increased, so they were much bigger, like, yield, but unusable. They were toxic, they're poisonous.
Oh, okay.
Couldn't eat them. It would kill you.
You're right.
On the plus side, you wouldn't have to worry about disease. So basically, what it was the nutrients of the plant increased, so therefore it was able to use more resources into other things. One was growth and one was protection. Plants have natural occurring pesticides. They don't have much, and it's at a normal level, like for human consumption, like safe consumption for us. They've been bred like that because when in the early days they would have been like really uncomfortable to eat. You wouldn't be able to digest them well because there would be like its own natural pesticides to be a hardier plant, you know.
Yeah.
So we bred them to be the way they are now. But if you give them lots and lots of nutrients above their, so like a plant has a need of how much it needs to grow, and if you input more into that, it can use that amount into other things it doesn't normally prioritize. And one of them is anti-pest control, sort of like its immune system, as it were. And so that's what the hypothesis supported, and I found the results in that. The other thing that I did was I genetically modified barley to not absorb green light. So I made a purple plant. It died within a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did not last long when it can't absorb green wavelength. So,
why is that? That's peculiar.
Because it actually needs green wavelength. I found to get
Oh.
photosynthesis to work correctly, it actually needs to be able to absorb green wavelength.
Oh, that is what a pain. Why can't it just accept any light?
Well, it does, accepts it all, but certain light intensities do certain things. So like,
Right.
so as a control is I had a normal plant that just had a normal white light on it. And then I had normal plants with each different wavelength of globe. And I just found the normal light and the green light, which doesn't make sense because plants are green and they reflect green light. So you'd think it wouldn't absorb green light, but it does. Anyway, the white light, the purple light, and the green light, they all survived. The green light and the white light was the most viable. The other lights, they all died, and then the genetically modified plant just died within like it just was not viable. Like it was so hard to keep alive. But yeah, it died. So so you know, it's pretty cool. Like, you know, extracting DNA and like doing all this genetic coding and stuff is pretty cool. Yeah, looking at all genes and stuff under a microscope is pretty cool too.
Yeah, I bet that would look pretty cool.
Yeah, under electron. It's dead when you do that, but yeah, you get to be able to actually visually see the everything, you know, the hexy coil, what the fuck you call it. But yeah.
Oh, the double helix.
Double helix, yeah, you actually see it now under electron microscopes. It's fucking sick.
All right.
Yeah. And like you can visually see the difference between a male, an X and a Y chromosome as well, which is pretty cool. The Y is tiny, man.
Oh.
Like the female in relativeness, like the female is like the size of your pinky, and the male's like the size of a fucking pinhead.
Oh, real? Holy shit!
Yeah, it's that much size difference. It's crazy. The male chromosome doesn't do much. Doesn't really have much to offer. Like it does a lot, but it doesn't at the same time. So it's just, yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, it's a little bit of education to some people who probably are really bored about this, but I find this shit fascinating, man.
No, that's fair enough.
But yeah, so now we need to find someone to raid into because it's at that time. Who can we watch? Oh, by the way, for those watching, we ended up did you get your money back on Repo, by the way, Spliffy?
I did.
Yeah, we refunded Repo because that's shit.
Yeah, it was frustrating and boring. It's not interesting.
It was a fucking terrible game. Did not like it. I have no idea who this person is, but they're playing Black Backrooms. Be fun watching someone scream. Oh, here we go. This person's playing Schedule 1. Let's raid into this person. I don't know who this person is, but let's raid into them. Anyway, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, others. I hope you have a good night and day, depending where you are in the world. We had a lot of fun today talking about lots of different things. Didn't even talk about cars.
No, we never do.
That's all right.
It's a new rule.
It's a new rule. I only talk about cars when something relatives come, something normal's happening. And to be honest, I talk about cars during the week. So today I just kind of wanted a break from it.
Yeah, fair enough.
So we're gonna send yous off, and we're gonna rate into this person who's playing the game we're very much talking about, as hopefully get into it. And if you got a PC, definitely get on it because it's fucking fun, and you can play with friends, which is even better. So have a good night and day depending where you are, and see ya.